Hey everybody, welcome back to Word Balloon. If you enjoy the videos here, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the Word Balloon YouTube channel, and of course, if you enjoy the audios and the videos, you can subscribe to my Patreon page, patreon.com/wordballoon. Hey everybody, we're back. It's another Harley Quinn review of the first season, and this time it's episode 7, The Line. And joining me, as always, to review the episode is the co-creator of Harley Quinn and co-showrunner. It's Patrick Schumacker, everybody. Welcome back, Patrick.
Hello again.
And an interesting episode that we learn right away that the Queen of Fables, who has become a bit of an ally of Harley's and a mentor in a lot of ways of how to finally get into the Legion of Doom, is being released from her prison of the tax code book that she's been stuck in and chain smoking from all this time. Wanda Sykes, excellent as the Queen. And at first it seems like, okay, great, she's going to be out, and she thinks she's getting out, and then all of a sudden the manacles are put on her, and it's like, no, you're out of the tax code, but you're heading to Arkham. And that doesn't seem right to Harley, so Harley wants to spring her.
Yeah, she got duped by the system. And so Harley sees her as a mentor figure. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna get her out of there. And so we got Queen of Fables in the Hannibal Lecter hockey mask and manacles and all that. Big truck crash. That was Tony Hale voicing one of the guards, doing a second voice as one of the guards when he's lighting the cigarette for her and he drops it. He's like, oopsies. And so this episode is a continuation of just that theme of identity and Harley trying to figure out who she is. And, it brings up the question of, I'm a bad guy, but, how evil am I? And Harley's, at this point, she's still raring to go, ready to take on the world. And for her, probably incorrectly, but for her, she thinks that equates to oh yeah, I'm evil. Of course I'm evil. So she, is in cahoots with the Queen of Fables, wants to kind of partner up with her. And then Ivy, being always the voice of reason, is there to tell her, well, you're like broadcast bad. She's cable bad, as we look over and see that she's literally cooking Humpty Dumpty. She's over an open flame. She is not, very cavalier in killing anyone, as you saw in the episode. Any creature, no creature too big or intelligent or whatever that for Queen of Fables to massacre. She is just the perfect sociopath, but very funny, of course, because Wanda Sykes voices her, and she's just, she's just mean. She's just mean.
But you got to be mean to be able to take down the Justice League as she was able to, and also the juxtaposition of being the Queen of Fables and having all these wonderful fairy tale characters that either she tortures, like poor Humpty Dumpty, or the ones that are willing to do her evil bidding, whether it's the Big Bad Wolf or even and I've got it right here. Well, of course, first of all, I love that she's got the three little pigs doing the cleanup after. That very am I right? Very Guy Ritchie Snatch kind of reference in terms of, because I had never heard of pigs being vicious until I saw Snatch, and it makes sense because they can be very feral if you keep them hungry and stuff. And just feed them to the pigs. I love that scene in Snatch. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that and it was Hannibal. Was it Hannibal? Yeah, it was Hannibal, where Gary Oldman's character, who's in all those great prosthetics. Mason Verger, I think was his name. I think, and he's got the pigs that he feeds people to. Definitely inspired by that. A lot of Hannibal stuff in this episode. But yeah, we were like, okay, what's Harley's gonna defy Ivy's advice yet again. She's gonna make Queen of Fables part of her crew. She needs her because, like I said, she's the perfect sociopath, and she's willing to do anything. And the best criminals are probably those without a conscience. And Queen of Fables is definitely that. So we're like, all right, what if she massacres a family reunion? And we're like, okay. And what's that family? It was all reverse engineered, honestly, from her having to battle someone with, immense powers, um, who was, of course, exacting his revenge for her having killed his entire family. And so that brings us to Jason Praxis, who is maybe, I mean, we dabble in the obscure DC canon.
I was going to ask. He's not coming to mind. So help me out with the Praxis family if they are.
Okay. The Praxis family is not a thing outside of our show. But Jason Praxis was a member of Justice League Europe, Justice League International, I believe.
Oh,
probably. I think he was created. I should be looking this up right now, but he looks in the show like pretty much as he looks in the books, and he's definitely a product of the 90s. I want to say somewhere between like 91 and like 96 was his creation. And his powers are a little bit nebulous as well. And so at any rate, we were like, we literally reverse engineered it because we were like, we need a character with a ponytail because we need this misdirect. There he is.
See it. Yeah, there you go. I got it.
Yeah. Very 90s looking character.
Yes.
And we need a character with a ponytail because we need there to be this, mistaken identity that there's one, member of the Praxis family that Harley stumbles upon that the Queen of Fables did not slaughter. Queen of Fables asks Harley, is everybody dead? And everybody needs to be dead, so there's no trace. And Harley sees what she thinks is this cowering little girl under a table. But as it turns out, it's a kind of like a big dude who happens to have like a ponytail. We're like, all right, Jason Praxis. Nobody's going to really mind if we retcon Jason Praxis. And to this day, I have not gotten any guff from the Praxis heads out there.
That's outstanding, man. He was a Portland detective who gets his powers and has the powers that you display in the cartoon and everything like that. I think it's during my blind spot because I did not remember him at all. And it is from that period of the mid 90s and stuff where they were trying to create some new heroes here and there and stuff like that. That's fantastic. I think that's a great throwback, man. Excellent.
That was one where I was definitely like, I am unfamiliar with this character up to this point. But thank you, DC Comics Compendium of Characters.
Is that how you found him? Because
it was literally like, yeah, I mean, we didn't have to do this very often, but we literally had sort of like the omnibus of DC characters just sitting on the writer's room table, and so, yeah, like, it's, of course, you have toys and books and everything to distract you from actually doing the work. So you'd always see some one of the writers just like paging through it, and just being like, "Who the hell is Condiment King? That's real. That's real."
Well, so did you want somebody with telekinetic energy, and energy powers, or it didn't matter? You just wanted some sort of villain. What were you? What were you looking?
Yeah, no, I think it kind of was. It's honestly, it's a little bit nebulous at this point because it was probably like 2 years ago that we wrote it. But as with many stories, things come together sort of from a bunch of different places during the process, and you end up sort of recombining things to come up with something new. So I want to say that we did need someone with sort of electricity powers because we knew that like the device that Harley stole from Cord Industries was going to be, something that deflects energy. So anything sort of in the electromagnetic spectrum was fine. And then we needed somebody with a ponytail. And lo and behold, Jason Praxis on the J or the P page. I can't remember if they go last name or first name first in the book, but there he was. And we're like, You just saved this episode, book.
Nice going. That's excellent. And very, very appropriate as opposed to the tax code book. It is the DC compendium that saved the day. That's
Exactly.
excellent, man.
Yeah. So I think we ended up introducing Jason Praxis to a decent amount of people watching the show, and then we introduced the mouse assassin, of course.
One of Cinderella's mice. And then exactly, so we go from Humpty Dumpty to one of Cinderella's mice. Is he really up to the job? And he's a badass little mouse.
Total badass. Like, clearly has been doing mercenary work. Can suck down an entire cigarette in one puff. That poor son of a bitch. He needs to have a cousin because he needs to come back somewhere. We just love the idea that he was like this French mercenary. He chirps, but it's also in French. I think so. I think that's what we did.
Well, he's got the beret, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. At one point, we had him like chirping, and then it was in French, and we had the French crossed out, and then you saw the English, and it was just like, people will get it if it's just in French. So.
That's awesome. And meanwhile, Ivy and Kite Man are going on a date, and Ivy, dressing down for the occasion, does not want anyone to know that she's out in public with Kite Man.
She is in incognito mode because, up to this point, she really hates herself for having any feelings for Kite Man, who, as far as, we were concerned probably at the time of writing it, and also as far as the audience is definitely concerned watching it, Kite Man is just kind of a douche. He's just kind of a douchey frat guy and who likes 69 jokes, as evidenced by his apartment number. That joke kills me every time.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I should credit Tom Hindman, one of the writers, with that joke. Feeling like credit goes to him. He wrote, actually, episode 6. I didn't give him a shout-out on our last episode.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, he was Tom's someone we have known for several years, and he was actually our assistant for a while, and he's a really talented writer, and we were really glad to be able to staff him on Harley, which was his first staffing job, and then he ended up writing a bunch of our episodes. So,
knowing as I do how some TV writers' offices work, that's great when an assistant can graduate and become a writer, and I know a couple other instances of that I'm aware of, so that's excellent.
Yeah. No, it was much deserved, and then the writer of this episode is Laura Moran, and we've known Laura since she was a writer's assistant on the show How to Be a Gentleman that we worked on at CBS in like 2010. So okay. Laura has really risen up through the ranks, and when she came to us. To work on the show, or when we called her, seeing if she'd have any interest, she was kind of like a producer level writer at the time. So yeah, it's cool having worked in television for the better part of like 10 years now. It's you've seen people ascend through the ranks, and it's pretty cool.
That's excellent.
So, yeah. Laura wrote this episode, and it was directed again by Juan Mezzaleon. Who gave us an extremely graphic, more so than is already in the show, sequence of the Praxis family being killed. It was so gory. It was even more over the top than was in there now, and everybody sort of unanimously came to the conclusion that okay, maybe we've taken it too far. The show's relying less and less on gore now, and so of course we still have it. We still have it. You got Queen of Fables ashing a cigarette in the eye socket of a decapitated head, nonchalantly just hanging out, having a smoke when Harley and the crew come back from their heist. So, anyways, Juan doing a great job with this episode. Laura, great script for this episode. And then, of course, the gore of... I think we were kind of like, we want to save the really gory moment for Jason Praxis' ultimate demise.
Yeah.
He thinks that the Queen of Fables is out of their lives. She's too rich for Harley's blood, too evil. It's not Harley's brand of evil, and
but she's gonna let her walk. She's not gonna,
let her walk. Which may, as Queen of Fables says, like, you're making a big mistake keeping me alive. Like I said, you got to end the bloodline. Maybe not. She's going to come back in a later episode. We'll see, I guess.
I guess.
But then, of course, Jason Praxis is. You think that he's going to live on. That maybe there's some hope that he's going to recover from the trauma of his entire family being massacred. Then, Queen of Fables' spear launches right out of his mouth because she's come back in to end the bloodline. She almost didn't take her own advice. Kills Jason Praxis in one of the most violent deaths of the series. And his limp body just kind of sloughs off of the tip of her scepter. It's so shocking.
Yeah. Dude, it's honestly, again, it blows my mind that the powers that be are like, yeah, all right. And again, that it sounds like of your own devices are like, all right, maybe the Praxis reunion massacre is a little, let's tone it down. And that it's, you guys in the writer's room or after seeing visuals, maybe like, all right, let's ease back a little bit here.
That started as a note from the executives at the studio.
Okay, fair enough.
But look, I mean, we you have to take every note in faith, and we're like, all right, maybe we went a little too far.
You're batting well over 500 really close to like 800 or 900, where it's 9 out of 10 times they're like, that's fine. Maybe this one, not so much. Maybe this one, not so much. And it's so good for you, man. And great, again, that these executives understand what you guys are making and are like, no, I think our audience can handle it. And again, I'm glad that, I don't know, did you test anything for this episode?
No, the episodes that we tested were the pilot, the bar mitzvah episode, and Gordon in the Arm. So we tested those 3 because we were like, we want to go pilot, obviously, for like just understanding the show, getting into the show. That's important. The second episode, again, because just in terms of like understanding of like this is serialized and where's the show to go. And then 6 was just like, well, let's see. We think it's really funny. B, like it gets weird. So let's test the parameters of like how weird can we get with the show. And as it turns out, way weirder than even the Arm episode. As you'll see in episodes that have not even aired on DC Universe yet, it gets real weird.
Ooh, that's exciting to hear, man. Now we did a talk about season 2 to remind viewers and listeners the first 2 episodes of season 2, and then I got busy, and also when I heard that Harley was going to be on Sci-Fi, and knowing that a bigger audience was going to be there and stuff, I'm like, all right, well, let's go back because there really are 13 episodes to cover. So we'll do probably a season 2 review episode in the future. But for now, I'm thrilled that we're doing these ones for the individual episodes. And man, now we'll move on when we talk next time to episode 8, where now finally it seems like Harley has been making enough noise over these 7 episodes that the Legion of Doom is finally taking notice and might actually be taking Harley and her career seriously. But we'll explore that more in episode 8. So for the meantime, thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to our next conversation.
See you next time.
Thanks again for watching another Word Balloon video. We've got plenty more at our channel, Word Balloon. If you enjoyed it, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel. And of course, support me on Patreon, patreon.com/wordballoon. Thanks a lot for watching.